Good evening, I'm Ian Hannamansing. Tonight, from top brass to arresting officers, the RCMP under scrutiny.
These incidents that are happening, they're not one-off.
As the commissioner acknowledges systemic racism in her force, some disturbing-looking arrests are criticized and explained.
We also are asking and suggesting that amendments to the criminal code be done.
Canada's chief judge talks to CBC News about pandemic justice. And call them bubbles, call them social circles.
It's just going to include my closest friends and my sisters. Ontario
and Alberta allow new steps to freedom. This is The National. At a time when police conduct is under intense scrutiny, especially in regards to the treatment of visible minorities, new video showing the arrest of a First Nation chief by the RCMP seems to be having an impact.
We have all now seen the shocking video of Chief Adams' arrest, and we must get to the bottom of this. At the same time, though, we also know that this is not an isolated incident. Far too many Black Canadians and Indigenous people do not feel safe around police.
Earlier this week on The National, the RCMP commissioner didn't agree outright with the Prime Minister that systemic racism exists in the force.
That is an interesting question, because in the last couple of days, I've honestly heard about 15 or 20 definitions of systemic racism, and if it refers to an unconscious bias that exists, and we definitely have that in the RCMP, and we are not immune to it at all.
But today, Commissioner Lucky reconsidered. I did not say definitively that systemic racism exists in the RCMP. I should have. Then the Deputy Commissioner of the Alberta RCMP walked back his own denial after speaking with people including Indigenous officers.
These have been conversations that have challenged my perceptions and made it clear that systemic racism does exist in the RCMP.
But all of that talk will ultimately be tested on the ground. We begin with an incident that may have been a factor in changing those officers' minds. Rafi Boudjikanian takes a deeper look at the altercation between RCMP officers and that First Nation chief.
This is the video that's seized national attention. Early on, Athabasca Chippewan Chief Alan Adam takes an aggressive stance after police officers pulled him over for expired license plates. But about 7 minutes in, everything changes. That tackle and that punch, bringing police conduct and racism into stark relief. On Monday, this from Alberta's top RCMP cop before his statement today.
I don't believe that racism is systemic through Canadian policing. I don't believe it's systemic through policing in Alberta.
But today, from Alberta's criminal defense lawyers,
these incidents that are happening, they're not one-off. They are continual.
And this unusual call.
The immediate resignation of Deputy Commissioner Zablocki. And if he doesn't resign, then he has to be fired.
The lawyers say the officers on this video should lose their jobs too, along with senior officers who reviewed it and said the use of force was justified.
I think the better way to handle this on both sides of the discussion is just better training for police.
This use of force expert says RCMP need better ongoing hand-to-hand training for situations like this. He suggests it happen every 2 weeks.
If we can get police more proficient, we would have far less occurrences where we have these kind of debates about, was that use of force over the top? Was the officer doing it because they were angry?
The Mounties would not address the video today, citing the current investigation by Alberta's external police watchdog agency. And Curtis Zablocki has changed his mind.
These have been conversations that have challenged my perceptions and made it clear that systemic racism does exist.
The external agency says it wants to speak to witnesses who saw the altercation with Chief Alan Adam. Rafi Boudjikanian, CBC News, Edmonton.
In that story, the emergence of a dashcam video helped clarify what happened. And a second video plays a key role in our next story as well. A violent arrest by Winnipeg police was described today by police as conduct that may have saved the suspect's life. Aaron Broman explains.
A grainy video shows a violent arrest, especially those kicks, prompting outrage over the officer's use of force. Today, Winnipeg police addressed it.
Anytime there's a video like this that's shared widely, obviously some inaccurate information comes out, some misinformation, and I think the public asks a lot of questions that they want answered.
The man was allegedly high on methamphetamine and was suspected in a couple of violent incidents.
He was confronted by security and left. He then brandished a handgun, terrifying pedestrians, and resulted in multiple calls to 911.
Today, police showed CCTV video.
So you see the individual on the right side, he spiked what's believed to be the handgun.
Ignores the officers, then resists.
And now the struggle begins as they try to take him into custody.
Officers strike him, spot a knife.
He only can use his legs.
2 kicks, and a knife skitters away.
And again, this is incredibly tough for some people to watch. The vast majority of use of force encounters or encounters that the WPS have with individuals are resolved without the need for force.
Police say the man wasn't hurt and then offered this surprising statement.
That kick likely saved his life. If that individual gets a hold of that knife that's in his waistband, and officers see that and he has that knife in his hand, you're potentially in a lethal force encounter.
The first video comes amid calls for sweeping changes to police forces, including here in Winnipeg. Professor Kevin Walby says mental health workers would have done better.
Why, in Canadian society, do we think this is the best that we can do? Deploy police violence as the only response.
We're criticized for everything we do, and that's part of the job. We expect it. But you always have to look at how these situations could have unfolded otherwise if police didn't act in the regard that they did. The danger to the public.
Who are watching, usually from a safe distance. Aaron Broman, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Details have emerged about a crackdown into a Toronto human trafficking ring. The victim, a teenage girl. One of the accused, Johns, a police officer. Ali Chiasson has the story.
The probe into a sex trafficking ring surrounding a 16-year-old victim started with taking down her pimp. But when investigators began zeroing in on the clients, they found one of their own.
They certainly are offended by the notion of one of their own members being involved in any type of crime, particularly when we have a number of officers who commit their lives to investigating these types of crimes.
49-year-old Constable Peter Roberts was among 10 men arrested.
He has 11 years of service with the Toronto Police. He's currently assigned to 51 Division and he's suspended with pay.
I was shocked and horrified.
The Canadian Centre to End Human Trafficking works closely with police across the country.
We place such a high level of trust into our police service and police officers. This officer was charged with one of the most heinous acts, that is sexual abuse of a minor.
It's hard enough to get victims to come forward. That trust has to be there.
I think something like this will, erode confidence in police.
Constable Peter Roberts has a court date on June 24th as Toronto police continue to unravel that human trafficking ring. Ali Chiasson, CBC News, Toronto.
Many court proceedings across the country have been on hold for months because of COVID-19 restrictions, adding to the pre-pandemic backlog. As Olivia Stefanovic tells us, Canada's Chief Justice is proposing some new ideas on how to fix the problem.
The wheels of justice have slowed to a crawl for Catherine Riedel, one of 16 survivors injured in the deadly Toronto van attack.
You're asking an awful lot of people just to wait and to wait and to wait and to wait.
The trial for the man accused of using a van to kill 10 people on a busy sidewalk was supposed to start this spring. Now it's rescheduled for November.
Until the trial happens and I can start to put things behind me, I'm not going to be feeling too good.
The case is one of tens of thousands delayed across the country because of the pandemic. Canada's top judge is working with the federal justice minister to help the courts get back on track.
We also are asking and suggesting that amendments to the criminal code be done.
Those amendments could range from judges being able to hear cases in different regions to evidence being introduced through video conferencing.
To use technology to change the way the justice system works so that it be not only a remedy for the immediate circumstances, but it should be a new way of rendering justice in the future.
Supreme Court of Canada Chief Justice Richard Wagner is also suggesting perhaps reducing the number of required jurors, though that raises concerns.
I'm not sure that I would personally be in favor of reducing the number of jurors, which is an important protection of the rights of the accused and of the prosecution.
The delays mean defendants also have to wait for their day in court.
An accused does have a constitutional right to a trial within a reasonable time, and right now that's not being honored.
For victims like Riedel, passing the time is getting harder.
So the best thing for me is to try and put it out of my mind.
And she hopes that justice delayed won't be justice denied. Olivia Stefanovic, CBC News, Ottawa.
For 2 provinces today, life has changed. The cage of COVID-19 restrictions creaking open a little in both Ontario and Alberta. That's because Alberta seems to have subdued the virus for now. The rate of daily new cases has been relatively low for weeks, and this is with robust testing. The progress in Ontario has been more mixed. Testing in the province has gone up, and over the past week it's revealed less of the virus, but this is still the worst rate of daily new cases in the country. That issue is one of the reasons why businesses are only opening in some regions, but province-wide, up to 10 people can now not only hang out together, but hug each other. Mike Crawley has the latest on what Ontario calls social circles.
In most places, the term is social bubbles. The idea, having close contact with a few people outside your household, but in a bubble, staying away from others.
If I was to expand my bubble, it's just going to include my closest friends and my sisters.
In Ontario, the government has decided to call it social circles.
Think of your social circle as the people you can touch, hug, and come into close contact with.
Effective immediately across Ontario, the social circle expands to as many as 10 people, allowing the kind of close-knit gatherings that have been discouraged for months.
This means finally hugging your grandparent or sharing a meal with your parents or closest friends.
But a key warning from officials, 1 circle only, no close contact with anybody from another. The fear from some doctors is that won't be followed.
It will be impossible for 10 people to only each have that circle. This is an explosion of bubbles. We won't be able to do it.
This comes the same day as many COVID-19 restrictions are relaxed across much of Ontario, but not the Toronto area. Restaurants and bars in these regions are now allowed to open their patios.
We're all good.
And hair salons and barber shops open for the first time since March.
I never thought I'd enjoy getting my hair done so much.
Freedoms that some worry people will escape the harder hit parts of the province to enjoy.
We have to accept some level of risk and look at the greater good for everybody. And I think that right now our cautious approach to reopening is the right one.
The Premier is stressing patience.
We'll have some good news very shortly for you.
Suggesting people may not have to wait much longer to eat on a patio in this city. Mike Crawley, CBC News, Toronto.
Alberta's reopening today is a big step, but Aaron Collins shows us the situation in the province is still a long way from normal.
The wait is over. After 3 months in limbo, opening day is here for many in Alberta, even as COVID-19 keeps much of Canada closed down.
There is a risk, but I feel based on what Alberta has put out for the guidelines are pretty straightforward. If we can all follow the rules, I think we'll be okay.
Team sports are also taking a tentative kick at starting up again. Players back on the pitch, but for now, just practicing. Actual games will have to wait.
So it is maybe baby steps just to get everyone's comfortability and that security back, right? That trust back. And then, then we go from there.
Much of life in Alberta can seem pretty normal, whatever normal is during a pandemic. Restaurants, bars, movie theaters, swimming pools, even casinos, all of them can open, provided they stick with physical distancing requirements. That's no easy task for some businesses. For Calgary's libraries, it's an impossibility. For now, they're staying closed for a couple more weeks.
There are literally thousands of high-tech services in libraries, so we want to make sure that we're managing that as carefully as possible.
New cases of COVID-19 have been stable in Alberta for weeks. Experts say there could be spikes as restrictions come down, but there is hope that with testing and tracing, once open for business, Alberta can stay open. provided people follow those familiar pandemic protocols.
And remembering those three things that I keep talking about, wash your hands, don't touch your face, wear a mask, physical distancing is incredibly important.
A reminder that things are anything but normal even as they start to appear that way. Aaron Collins, CBC News, Calgary.
Ottawa has announced it's phasing in a new measure to reduce the risk of air travel.
Our government is mandating temperature screening for air passengers.
The screenings will apply first to flights into Canada, then to outbound flights, and finally also to flights within the country. The Prime Minister acknowledges that screening for fevers is not a reliable way to test for COVID-19, but calls it an extra layer of safety. And pandemic wage premiums for employees at three of Canada's largest grocers are ending. Metro, Loblaws and Walmart have all confirmed they'll stop giving their workers an extra $2 an hour pay bump, in place since the early days of COVID-19. The companies say the move comes as things begin to stabilize and the economy reopens. The amount of data being collected on COVID-19 is staggering, but there hasn't been an easy way of sharing it until now. Tonight, a paper published in a leading medical journal introduced a made-in-Canada solution to the world. Christine Burak has that story.
Valuable data is hidden inside every positive coronavirus test. Data that can allow scientists to track the virus in real time, predict outbreaks, even help design vaccines. Problem is, cases and critical information about this virus are scattered across labs around the globe.
We are one of the first who attempt to solve this problem.
Led by Bo Wang, computer scientists at Toronto's Peter Munk Cardiac Centre started developing an app. It tracks mutations or changes in the virus's genetic sequence as it moves from person to person. The information is so detailed it can trace the virus right back to the first patient in China. A paper published in a leading journal is now introducing their free tool to scientists worldwide.
If researchers want to upload their data, they can use our app interactively and get the results immediately within 15 minutes.
The results show where similar versions of the virus are currently circulating, when the patient was infected, and how the virus is mutating.
If there's a really important mutation that's becoming more and more frequent, that's often cause for alarm because it may affect vaccine design.
Right now, several vaccine developers are trying to get the immune system to target that original coronavirus spike. But if that spike changes or mutates over time, some vaccines might not be effective. The app could serve as an early warning system.
It'll be, well used and well appreciated.
Researchers who've tried the tool say it helps them visualize infections coming from specific countries. And when a new version of the virus appears, it can indicate a new outbreak.
It'll really help the health authorities make real-time decisions with regard to policy,
including targeted lockdowns or travel restrictions, backed up with big data, global cooperation, and some Canadian ingenuity. Christine Burak, CBC News, Toronto.
It seems like that technology can't come soon enough. There are fears the pandemic is only going to get worse globally. Some countries are reporting massive daily spikes in cases, but as Chris Brown explains, instead of locking down, their governments are opening up.
In Russia, the lockdown has lifted, and on Russia Day, people celebrated a job well done by healthcare workers. Only coronavirus has nowhere near receded, with close to 9,000 new cases still reported each day. Even President Vladimir Putin was out shaking hands. His main purpose was to talk up an upcoming constitutional vote to legitimize his ambition to stay in power for years to come.
That's dangerous.
But election volunteer Sergei Romanchuk, who usually goes door to door registering voters, quit this week in protest. He fears the vote will create more mass illness.
Personal risk of any member of election commission who will be actually going for to the people homes, that's very high.
Putin lifted the lockdown early and may be holding the vote now because Russia's economy is bad and getting worse. It's the same story in country after country, in Latin America, especially Brazil, and in Asia, especially India, where people have started getting married again, even as positive cases shoot up. Global health expert Madhu Pai of McGill University says poorer nations are suffering from lockdown fatigue.
In a fragile setting, when you're living on pretty much your daily wages, the lockdown is disastrous. And so at some point, the politics of this means that no country can continue these restrictions or lockdowns.
Instead, Pai says only those with symptoms and others who come in contact with them should be isolated.
I think the fact that cases are continuing to skyrocket post-lockdown tell me that the numbers are far away from their peaks.
Given the choice of starving an economy or more coronavirus, the world's poorer nations are deciding a higher casualty count is the less devastating of the two. Chris Brown, CBC News, Vancouver.
Britain has been weaning itself off coal for years, but COVID-19 has sped things up. Here's Renee Filipponi.
The demise of coal in Britain, blow by blow. For decades, plants have been demolished in a push away from that fossil fuel. It's now been 2 months since coal has been used for power.
The screen behind me shows where Britain is getting its energy from right now. It's a mixture of gas, nuclear, biomass, hydro, wind and solar, but no coal.
The COVID-19 lockdown dropped demand for electricity. So as business shut down across the UK, so did coal-fired power plants. It's a milestone in a country where coal has been key to the economy for over 200 years, and where, for generations, the power system has been fueled by it. Just a decade ago, 40% of the country's electricity came from coal. Last year, it was less than 3%. Renewables are edging out fossil fuels.
Wind turbines, solar panels, the more you build, the cheaper they get. It's known as the learning curve. And once they're built, they're very cheap to run.
Just one rotation of a wind turbine can power a home for a day, and the UK has the largest offshore wind industry in the world.
This is a great moment for many, many people in the UK.
But Greenpeace's chief scientist says coal is still a big problem globally.
We have an enormously long way to go across the world in terms of replicating the sort of success we've seen in the UK.
But even in countries committed to coal, analysts say it's becoming difficult to make an economic case to keep investing in new plants.
Even in countries like China and India, where simply the economics have shifted, it's now, in most countries around the world, cheaper to get electricity from solar or wind.
As Britain emerges from its COVID restrictions, coal may be needed again. But the goal is to power down the UK's last 4 plants in the next 5 years. Renee Filipponi, CBC News, London.
CBC News has suspended the airing of the weekly's final 2 episodes of the season as an investigation continues into words used by host Wendy Mesley. Earlier this week, she apologized for using a word during an editorial meeting for the show that she described as a word that should never be used. She was removed as host pending an investigation. A Canadian fashion designer is trying to get more Black-owned companies on the shelves of big stores.
Companies that were saying, like, I stand with you, I support you, and I wasn't really feeling that.
Up next, who's signing up and who she hopes to get on board. Plus, as policing comes under scrutiny, cop shows are having a reckoning.
People are questioning.
And the graduates who had their ceremony delivered. We're back in 2. After scenes like this in the streets over the past few weeks, consumers have been looking to better educate themselves, sending Black authors and books about anti-racism up the bestsellers lists in Canada and the United States. The calls for change are also being felt at the retail level. As Jacqueline Hansen explains, big-name businesses are being asked to take a closer look at what they put on their shelves.
Aurora James is turning her spotlight towards companies that say they support Black lives.
I had been getting a lot of different emails from companies that were saying, like, I stand with you, I support you, and I wasn't really feeling that.
She posted a simple idea online, a 15% pledge, calling on major retailers to commit to buying 15% of their products from Black-owned businesses. In the United States, where James now lives, almost 15% of the population is Black.
The average on these big retailers is below 1% of their shelf space right now going to Black-owned businesses, so it's really bad.
The first to take the pledge is cosmetics giant Sephora.
Never in a million years thought that it would only take 12 days for a company like Sephora to sign on.
I think it's a massive move.
This marketing strategist says Canadian companies should take the same approach and reflect Canada's population, that is 3.5% Black.
I think even that would be a great investment for organizations who really want to make a positive change. That would be billions of dollars placed right into the pockets and lives of Black people.
Evelyn Nero hopes James's movement opens up more opportunities for her to sell her skincare products.
If we got a call today, we are ready to scale up.
But she's worried there could be hurdles, like big fees suppliers often have to pay just to get their products on some stores' shelves. She hopes the retailers also pledge to partner with suppliers.
You kind of have a growth plan with them where they're setting you up for success as opposed to setting you up for failure.
James is working on that support as well.
This isn't something that I think can happen overnight.
Signing her pledge is just the start. Jacqueline Hansen, CBC News, Toronto.
When we come back, one of the longest running reality TV shows, Cops, is off the air. Next, reconsidering crime shows and who makes them. Plus,
it's so cool to see everyone. Oh my gosh.
a different kind of graduation ceremony for these different times. A commencement surprise just ahead. With police behavior under intense scrutiny after the death of George Floyd and other incidents, the reality series Cops was canceled this week after 32 seasons. There are lots of police shows on TV, but some now say they're too focused on showing police only as good guys. As Zuleka Nathu shows us, even the Canadian-made kids show Paw Patrol is being questioned.
From Flashpoint to CSI, crime shows are TV's most popular genre, reassuring audiences for decades that law enforcement is fair and just. Real life, though, is proving that's not always true.
Hollywood is realizing that they have to keep up with that because the CSI procedurals are not going to go down as easily as they did. People are questioning them.
The deaths of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and so many others at the hands of police are painting a stark contrast to the traditional narrative of cops as heroes.
A warrant? You got a warrant. A warrant for what?
It's forcing some networks to rethink even their most popular shows.
372, we're fighting.
The reality TV series Cops, which pitted officers against alleged criminals who were often Black, was canceled this week. It had been on the air for more than 30 years.
We're gonna need everyone to solve this case. Chase!
Even the kids show Paw Patrol is being criticized for following the good cop paradigm. Alyssa Rosenberg has written extensively about police shows for The Washington Post.
I think the question is what fictions are viable and what fantasies don't feel fun anymore. And that is going to be a major reckoning.
Canadian director Sud Sutherland says that reckoning has to start behind the scenes, with depicting police realistically.
When we want to show something that has more nuance, that has more, vulnerability or even culpability on the cops' parts, we get challenged, we get pushback, and so you have to fight for it. And it's not easy, and you get labeled for it. You get branded a troublemaker.
A recent study of the 2018-2019 American television season showed that some of the most well-known police procedurals, like NCIS and Law & Order SVU, had only white writers on staff. Sutherland says when those rooms begin to reflect reality, the shows will as well. Zuleka Nathu, CBC News, Los Angeles.
Next on The National, looking abroad for solutions in the COVID crisis. In long-term care homes, 6,400 Canadians have died. In Australia, just 29. We dive into the difference next. Since the start of the pandemic, other countries have provided lessons and warnings. Take Sweden's lockdown strategy or South Korea's extensive contact tracing efforts. But Canada's biggest challenges have been in long-term care homes. Out of more than 8,000 COVID-19 related deaths, more than 6,000, nearly 80%, are linked to long-term care. That's raised the alarm from families calling for action, including today. One country that's seen completely different results with its long-term care home during the pandemic is Australia. Terence McKenna looks at why.
Canadians have watched in horror as the COVID-19 death toll climbed in Canada's long-term care facilities, now over 6,000. In Australia, just 29 people. Greg Shaw, who runs the International Federation on Aging, is uniquely positioned to compare the two countries.
The building standards are very different in Australia.
He lives in Toronto, but previously served in senior roles in Australia's health ministry. He says that to start with, Australia's aged care facilities had a detailed plan to deal with the pandemic, while Canada did not.
When COVID-19 was known and came into Australia, many of the care providers basically locked their homes down and implemented their pandemic plan for infection control. So they stopped families from coming in. They didn't have staff working from one facility to another facility, and generally that's not the case in Australia anyway.
One of the most striking differences between Canada and Australia lies in the inspection regime for senior facilities. Australia is much more strict. Graham Pryor runs one of the largest for-profit aged care providers in Australia. He owns dozens of homes and says the inspections of them are rigorous.
If we get a report from the federal authorities in 6 months' time from an inspection, and it's a negative one, we've got 28 days to fix it. There's no mucking around. There's no I'll think about it. So we'd be sanctioned and we'd be out of business in 6 months.
12 homes were shut down in Australia in 2018, 0 in Ontario. None again last year. Tamara Daly of York University is a senior care expert.
We don't seem to have the kind of teeth that they've given to their inspectors, and we don't act as readily to shut a home down. So they remove accreditation really fast, and as a result of that, I think that they are getting better compliance with their standards.
Government spending on senior care is about the same in Canada and Australia, but they seem to get more for their money. As of 2015, all senior homes in Australia have private rooms for singles or semi-private for 2 people sharing.
Basically, no more than 2 people per room with their own ensuite. In terms of toilets and showers, it's no more than 6 residents in an older home for 1 shower and toilet.
In Canada, 38% of homes have rooms for 4 residents, a factor that worsened the spread of COVID-19. Canadian personal support workers often have to care for up to 36 residents. That leads to a big difference in the two countries' approach to patient bathing.
If I wanted to put my mother in one of your homes and said, look, I'd like her to have a bath every day, could I make that request? Would it be fulfilled?
Well, of course you can. You'd be looked at, like I'm looking at it right now, quite quizzically. Everyone gets a bath every day. I mean, that's the way it works.
What about in Ontario? Would that happen in Ontario?
In Ontario, no. No. You are entitled to 2 bath times each week.
Many trace the drop in Ontario's senior care staffing levels back to the 1990s, when Conservative Mike Harris was Premier. Harris actually budgeted an extra $1 billion for senior care in Ontario, but his government directed 60% of that money to private, for-profit providers, and he cut staffing requirements.
Mike Harris did, in fact, get rid of the minimum staffing level for all frontline staff. Cutting minimum staffing has had a very negative impact on the sector overall.
After he left politics, Mike Harris became the chairman of Chartwell Homes, one of Ontario's largest for-profit senior care providers. As you might expect, Chartwell has had staffing level issues. Consider this one Chartwell home in Kingsville, Ontario. Government inspection reports show that the home has been cited dozens of times in recent years for not maintaining adequate staffing. Follow-up inspections often found that the Chartwell operators repeatedly failed to comply with regulations, but there has been little consequence for them.
They're getting away with it because there aren't serious consequences. Tell me where in any province in Canada where the government said you're not meeting the standards and outcomes that you should be meeting, we're actually putting in an administrator to bring the care standards in the home and the service provision up to standard before we will allow you to take it over again. And you've got to be able to demonstrate to us that you're capable of running the nursing home.
Doesn't happen.
Doesn't happen.
As a result of the COVID-19 crisis, the Ontario government has announced it would finally take over 9 senior homes. None of them belong to Chartwell, which does not have the worst death record among providers. A crucial tool to find major problems is for inspectors to arrive without warning. In Australia, recent records show 3,099 unannounced inspections in 1 year. CBC News discovered that in Ontario last year, there were only 9 unannounced inspections. Of the 6 worst-hit seniors' homes in Ontario where the Canadian government was dispatched to help out, 5 were for-profit homes.
We know, even before COVID happened, that nonprofit and public homes pour money in and have higher staffing levels, as well as better workplace protections, so they have more permanent staff, they have more staff that have benefits.
In Canada, the cost of senior care varies a lot depending on the province, whether it's public or private, urban or rural. Greg Shaw thinks that is a big argument to have a federally regulated and controlled senior care system, as they have in Australia.
It doesn't matter where you live in Australia, you can access the same level of service at the same cost and the same care provision with the same measurable outcomes, irrespective of where you live. A national system certainly works well in the Australian context.
In Ontario, a great deal of the money spent on senior care ends up in executive compensation and shareholder dividends for the private providers. The Toronto Star reports that for Mike Harris's Chartwell Corporation, that figure was $845 million over the last 10 years. At the end of last year, he personally had a $7 million stake in the company.
We also do have quite a bit of profit taking in this sector, and so we need to ask really, really clear questions about how we want public dollars used and what we need to demand.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford has pledged to completely rethink senior care in his province, but he will face a determined campaign by the for-profit sector to guard its stake in the existing system. He admits that he already received a call from former Premier Mike Harris since the pandemic outbreak.
I had, I think, one call in the last 6 weeks from former Premier Harris to ask how he was doing, and to be frank, I didn't even know he was the chair of Chartwell.
Mike Harris at Chartwell Homes has just hired his former Ontario Conservative campaign manager, Leslie Noble, to lobby the Ford government on this file. Doug Ford will also be lobbied by his own former campaign spokesperson, Melissa Lantzman, and his former marketing director, Lauren McDonald, who both have just been hired as lobbyists by other for-profit providers. A few weeks ago, Justin Trudeau speculated aloud about how the federal government should get more involved in senior care. He was quickly shot down by Quebec Premier François Legault, who basically suggested that the federal government should mind its own business and stay in its own jurisdiction. The politics of this situation have pushed Trudeau to back down, because at the moment the senior care homes are seen as a terrible problem that tarnishes any politician responsible for the mess there. There is some question as to whether the COVID-19 disaster in long-term care facilities will change that political calculation, because the public might demand change. Terence McKenna, CBC News, Toronto.
And we will continue our in-depth coverage of the crisis in Canada's long-term care homes. The stories of lives lost, the families left behind, and the demands for change More on Monday on The National. When we come back, a community comes together to celebrate a few special grads. Their drive-by graduation is next. This should be the season of parties and proms. Instead, hundreds of thousands of grade 12s are missing out. So a business in Ajax, Ontario decided to throw a unique celebration for some deserving students.
Here it is, good. Perfect. The whole mission of for today was to give back. You know, this is a time where we really need to, be selfless. And even though our events business and the hospitality industry has taken such a huge hit, it was important for us to give back. So I'm Stephanie Riedel, Managing Director of Setting the Bar, which is an event and hospitality service. Graduation is such a huge milestone in our children's lives, and the fact that they weren't able to celebrate, the schools weren't really doing much for them this year in terms of grad and prom, it was important for us to do something. Well, you need one for yours. So we picked these girls because they were nominated. We reached out to our network. They all go to the same school, Ajax High. They actually are also part of the same dance studio, and they have been friends for, since they were little teeny tiny ones.
These three are so deserving. They're hard workers. They've all danced competitively full time and managed to keep all their grades up. They're all heading off to university this year, and it was just a way to celebrate them.
When I knew she wasn't going to graduate from high school, my heart was just in pieces. And so when we got the call from Stephanie, I thought, wow.
The best surprise ever.
Yes.
Such a blessing. Such a great blessing.
I hope you had the time of your life.
Oh, I'm ecstatic. To see the girls surprised, which was the ultimate goal, is to keep it a surprise, which was a challenge with 3 teenagers and all their friends knowing, and the social media and that sort of stuff. So the fact that we could keep it a surprise was huge for us. We were really happy with that accomplishment.
It's so cool to see everyone. Oh my gosh. There's so many people. I had no idea. I love you guys. I feel awesome. It's so encouraging to see all our friends and stuff from everywhere. Awesome.
It's great. I haven't seen a lot of these people in a long time, so it's great just to see them again.
Who's standing out of the car? Is that Julia?
I was so happy to see all their friends show up and all those cars, and it actually, it brought me to tears.
3, 2, 1.
The end result, yes, it was everything that we wanted and more, because the surprise worked out, and the girls were ecstatic. There were tears, which is amazing, from the kids and the parents. The guests coming by were smiling and happy, and again, more tears. So mission accomplished in that regard. I think it's important to cherish moments like this in a time like this.
Don't let go! Don't let go!
Next on The National, you know the saying, good fences make good neighbors? Well, consider this the best fence for a couple of best friends. Next. Daphne and Morgan are best friends, and they also happen to live right beside each other. With COVID-19, they've struggled to find a way to connect. But their parents came up with a creative plan to get the girls back to hanging out face to face. And that is our moment.
Do you want to try? Okay.
These girls have been best friends for a number of years. They've been playing in the backyard together. They were able to hear each other but not see each other. So the first thing my husband and I did was to remove every other picket on the fence just so that they could see each other. After a while, we just wanted them to get a little bit closer, and I got the idea to put a window in down the side of the fence.
Having the glass has made it easier because we can see each other better instead of just staring at a screen for the whole day. They're 2 jumping jacks.
I was thinking enough is enough. They need to see each other. They're best friends, and It was just making me a little bit sad that they couldn't interact the way they used to. I had it installed in a day and haven't looked back.
Okay, that video wins me over. I was not exactly sure about that moment throughout the day because I thought, why don't they just hang out in the yard and stay, 2 meters, 6 feet away from each other? But Meg, one of our producers, said that she lived next to her best friend right up till grade 12, convinced us we should do the moment, and I'm glad we did. It was really sweet. That is the National for Friday, June the 12th. Good night.